it's me, Vixen Kim, back with another episode of Drumroll Vixen's Verdict. Now, I told y'all, we still in the trenches with this podcast shit. So I said, you know what, we gonna have a little solo dolo talk show host kind of thing going on. And, I'm like, I'm actually fucking with this. I might need to get a refund on all this equipment. We gonna see y'all. So let's see. The first topic that I want to bring up is men who actually do date women with children, saying that they prefer women who have multiple children with different men over women who have multiple children by one man. Ain't that crazy? To me, if y'all really want my opinion, which you do, because you here, girl, you can't win from losing when it comes to these men, y'all. Because first of all, I feel like a lot of men are so judgmental when it comes to them trying to criticize single mothers. Now they're breaking down single moms into different segments. I'm confused. Like, damn, so you talk about women badly when they have multiple baby daddies. You call them throwaways, hoes, rejects, all the other stuff. But then on the flip side, you trying to say, okay, now women who have multiple children by one man are even more undesirable because basically that man owns that woman, or they're going to get back together, or that man is going to be obsessive and possessive. So what it comes down to, in my opinion, is a man's ego and their own insecurities and their own ways of thinking. Because in order for a man to think that if you have children by one man, you're going to get back with him or he owns you, that person has to have that type of nature as well. So a lot of the times these men don't even realize that when they're sitting up there trying to talk about women and stuff, they're projecting their own ways of thinking. Because in their mind, these are the type of men that feel like, okay, if I have a child by you, I own you for life. So they're assuming, okay, because I think this way and my homeboys think this way, other men think this way. So God forbid I got to deal with one man, because obviously if you had all these children with this man, you was in love with him and blah, 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 bitch, go get your family back. But that's not fair. So I was watching somebody's live on TikTok and they were basically having this discussion. And I said, well, that's not true for everybody. You know what I'm saying? You can't just automatically assume that if a woman has multiple children by one man, that she's just deeply in love. Maybe at one point, you know what I'm saying? But you can't even necessarily say that. Sometimes I feel like from a woman's standpoint, even though I was married when I had my children, I wanted my children more than I wanted their father, if that makes sense. So, it was definitely something I thought about. Like, even if we weren't going to last, I know eventually I'm going to want children in the future. Now, while you might not be the perfect husband, are you a good father? How do you treat children and animals? That's really a good judgment to go by. Are you somebody that's going to maintain a job? Are you somebody, that's going to have, finances to take care of your kids after the fact and not go get a new girlfriend and then say, fuck your family? That kind of thing. It's just a lot that goes into that, y'all. But I felt like that was some bullshit. Let me take a sip of my Dr. Pepper. I don't know about y'all, but whenever I'm finna come on my period, I come after my period, I be wanting some chocolate, some Dr. Pepper, bitch. I want some ice cream. I want Okay. So that was like the main thing for me. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what do you want from me? Like, damn, you can't win from losing. But I also, I feel like men who don't have children are the main men that approach women with children, if that makes sense. And a lot of people say, oh, it's because they're trying to use you, or they feel like you're desperate and you're easy or throwaway or something like that. And I've come across men like that, don't get me wrong, where I guess they felt like because I'm a single parent, that I'm less than, or I'm not their preference or something like that, but because they're attracted to me, they still want to fuck and stuff like that. Like, don't try to do that over here. You're going to fuck around and fall in love. Because the crazy thing is, in my experience, I've gotten to see shit play out for a while, when it comes to those type of men, because those kinds of men literally have moved on, had children with a bitch, and had the worst relationship, and they'll come back and tell me about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish that I would have had a child with you, because I went and had a child with this bitch that didn't have a child. She immature, she childish, she don't take care of the child, blah, blah, blah. But you know, men be having their ways and stuff like that. But bitch, no, you didn't wish you had a child with me. You a goddamn lie. But yeah, so I feel like it's always, no, I don't wish bad on nobody, but I feel like it's always funny as fuck to see situations play out where a man felt like I had too many kids and too many responsibilities and obligations for him to fuck with me. Like I was just the bottom of the barrel ass bitch or something. But it's so crazy because imagine you coming to me as a single mother and you assuming that, like, if you fuck with me, that's me plus my three, and that's four people you got to take care of, but I make more than you, twice as much. You know what I'm saying? Like, sir, you have me fucking mistaken. You know what I'm saying? With one of them childless assholes that have their mind fucked up. And instead of thinking like, because I have less responsibilities, I can save more money and I should have my shit together. They're looking at it like, well, I don't have kids, so I can live this certain way. Like they're not going to get older and die too. Then, bitch, you old as hell and ain't got no kids. Who going to take care of you and wipe your ass? Take your ass to that nursing home, ho. That's if you survive enough to have social security benefits so that the nursing home can take your social security benefits to wipe your ass, bitch. Because a lot of y'all be partying and living all hard and rough and shit like that, and then they keep raising the age. Okay, hopefully they got robots, affordable ones, by the time y'all hoes get old, while y'all be talking all that shit, so that the robot can wipe your asshole. Anyhow, I just fucking with y'all. I don't know. But yeah, back to what I was saying. Like, don't judge me because I have children. Don't be assuming because I have children that I'm on welfare and I'm fucked up. I'm on Section 8. I'm a ghetto, trashy hood bitch, ma'am. And sir, I am an ex-wife. And I'm not saying that as if I'm above somebody, because I be talking shit about bitches like that. I say that in the sense of, when I had my children, it made sense to me at the time. I don't regret my children, and my children come before you niggas. You know what I'm saying? They've been here. So I don't have a problem with your preference, bitch. But you been had that preference before you came to me. I'm not the reason why you have such, an aversion to dating baby mamas. You feel me, sir? I am not a baby mama. I am an ex-wife and I am a mother, sir. You know what I'm saying? It's I carry myself in a certain way of where I don't need a man. You can't assume that I'm gonna go back to my ex-husband, sir. We've been divorced for over 5 years and separated for longer than that, about 7. Bitch, I have my own shit, and I'm not saying that as a flex because I'm a grown ass woman. I'm a doe. I should, right? In most circumstances, I say that to say that I worked hard to get to where I am, twice as fucking hard. You know what I'm saying? Imagine what you go through as an adult in this economy as a single person and somebody that's responsible for 3 other human beings. Yeah, their father helps out. Yeah, we co-parent, but we are not together, sir. Just because you have insecurities, feeling like, or somebody, cheated on you with a baby daddy, or you are maybe comparing yourself to the man that a woman has fucked with because you need to get your shit together, or maybe you feel like, okay, well, somebody cooked here. I don't know what it is, but yeah, it's difficult. Me and my ex-husband separated because we were immature. We were young and we were rowdy. And yeah, he was a bit controlling at the time. But bitch, that we have something called attorneys, lawyers, and paperwork. You know what I'm saying? I'm a grown ass woman. I don't play that shit. And I'm not in love with my baby daddy. So if a motherfucker gets to acting stupid, bitch, um filing that motion into the court like, sir, um sliding that document, sir, ma'am, we gonna get in front of that judge, bitch. You not controlling shit over here. There needs to be balance and there needs to be respect. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to control you, you don't control me, but we do what is in the best interest of our kids. So don't go around spreading misinformation, sir, because y'all want to say we fucking with Pookie and Ray Rays, but y'all fucking with the Shikwianas and Bomb Shikwas and shit like that, and assuming that every woman with kids is just like her. You got me fucked up, sir. I'm not a fucking charity case. My kids don't need a daddy. I do. Don't come over here with that motherfucking bullshit, acting like you will have to come in here and do this. Bitch, my house is fully furnished, sir. For every fucking corner in this bitch, I need to get rid of something. Like this got to be some type of organized hoarding. Ho, I'm a maximalist. I'm not fucked up about nothing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I wish that I could get some food stamps. I wish that I could. They bogus as hell. How the fuck is me and 3 kids and I can't get no food stamps because I'm over the poverty limit? I'm not who you think I am, bitch. Don't ever play with me. You know what I'm saying, bitch? You're the motherfucking charity case. If you come over here, you gonna be feeling emasculated, not by another man, but I'm the boss in this situation, sir. I run a strict program. Ain't no nigga running shit over here. Next segment. Y'all, that shit had me hot. Okay, hot. What the fuck is you? Excuse me? I'm sure at one point maybe my ex-husband did do that, but he had a rude awakening. Mm-mm. Your mama was a weak bitch. I'm not. Okay, so that's another thing that I want to talk about. Men being so judgmental and making these fucking outrageous assumptions because you're a black woman, okay? What the fuck? Like automatically assuming like I'm ghetto, automatically assuming that I'm on welfare, automatically assuming that I'm going to beg you for something. Just all this outrage, like, sir, you know what I'm saying? I just I don't think that I don't I hate these topics about colorism, but I feel like it's if you're a dark skinned woman, in this society, they just automatically like sexualize you or you know what I'm saying, automatically assume like, or just especially when you have children, they just assume all of these things, you know. And I'm like, not to talk about other women, but like that is my pet peeve. Y'all can see how passionate I'm getting. I worked hard to get where I am. I have fell on my face. I have struggled. I have chosen to take the longer route than, I feel like some other people. Don't ever come and try to take that away from me. So when y'all sit up there and as especially as black men, and talk about black women because you've had some sour ass experiences, I don't appreciate it. See, I don't when I talk shit about men, it's about in the sense of like y'all sit up here and y'all say that women want, men with money and they all be begging and shit like that. But sir, we want a protector and a provider. And in this economy and in every economy I have fucking known, you've had to have something of value as a man. You have to have something that you can provide to a woman. You know what I'm saying? Women were considered property. And still are, honestly. That's why when you get married, you obtain the man's last name, just like the slaves used to. You're an indentured servant, and they pumped all the women up with 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 kids so they can work outside and shit like that. It was free labor. Y'all treated women like livestock and property, selling their ass even before there was some form of currency. How many cows you got, bitch? How many you got more rocks than me? Men always found a way to try to possess something and own something. It was always about their greed and their possessiveness and their fucking being territorial. You feel me? So, with that being said, anyway, I don't even know why I was getting, bitch, but back to the whole, trying to be judgmental toward, I feel like men sit up here and claim that they want these independent women. They claim that they don't want us to ask them for nothing because if we do, we're fucking begging. We some begging ass bitches. But y'all fuck niggas, y'all, I'm trying to keep it cute. Y'all niggas, like I said, say it again, and then I'm gonna say it again. Okay. You brothers sit up there and like have the motherfucker. Y'all, I can't stop cursing. If I was to sit up here and edit this damn video for real, like I should be doing, it would be like beep 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 beep. Like, girl, I cursed so much I didn't know what I was talking about. What I say? What I say, y'all? I was saying something about They be trying to say women be begging, they want independent women and stuff like that. But then turn around and get an independent woman and then say she too masculine and she not submissive. Like, you got to choose a struggle. I always say this about men. They want to have their cake and eat it too. You have to choose the struggle, sir. It's fucked up, and this is why there are mistresses and side bitches and stuff like that, because they'll say they want an independent woman like moi. You know what I'm saying? That is intelligent and can, run a business, run a household, take care of kids, be nurturing, but still, make logical decisions. But then they're going to feel like they're missing out on feeling like they're super needed and important and wanting to take care of somebody and feeling validated in their masculinity and stuff like that. So then they go find a woman that doesn't have a job or works at a retail store, or someone they feel is vulnerable, and that activates that hero savior complex that they have sometimes, and they'll have that on the side because that woman strokes their ego. And then you have the vice versa, the men that sit up there and take care, because everything that they don't have they want. And I feel like a lot of, and that goes really with anybody. I feel like whatever a man is liking in one woman, he tries to go find in another. And if he can't find all those qualities in one, then he's gonna need another. They're very greedy. And men do what is best for themselves, even if it's not best for themselves and it's dangerous and it can put other people at risk. They don't give a fuck. It's all about their happiness and their selfishness. They're gonna try to live their best life, even if it's a double one, bitch. That's what I learned. Um, but yeah, so talking about being a mother, I actually have three boys. I tell people this all the time: 8, 9, and 10. Right, stair stepper kids. And I feel like a lot of people ask me all the time, how is that? You know what I'm saying? Me, I'm 30, and I started young. Got married young and everything. So what I will say, like I said, I try not in this day and age, and especially with having men. I'm sorry, I'm getting notifications and shit. Anyway, having some little boys that will eventually grow to be men. You know what I'm saying? And people tell me, well, what are you teaching your sons? Well, I teach them how to be self-sufficient. I try to teach them how to make good decisions more than I try to tell them, don't do this. You know what I'm saying? I try to approach things that, like, in the event of this happening, here are the tools that you can use to make these good decisions, so you can have integrity, instead of trying to come off as controlling. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like as a mother, when I was around my kids' age, or like a teenager, I felt like the more my mom tried to keep me away from things, I was curious as to why. You know what I'm saying? She just tried to protect me from everything. She was super, super controlling. And it really made me miss out on like having a real childhood, because she just you know and I feel like, yeah, that's the easiest way in your mind to try to control them, but you don't understand that your child is going to grow up to be their own individual. Stop looking at your child as an extension of yourself, worried about what they're doing that's going to embarrass you. Anybody with children, and especially that are adults now, they all say the same thing. You know what I'm saying? People are always judgmental and think that they kids won't do this and do that. Bitch, the same thing that'll make you cry, make you laugh. And I'm saying this with young children because it played out for a lot of my family members that thought their kids was so better than my mama kids, and vice versa and shit. Like, we all fucked up. But I had something to fall back on when it did click for me. When I developed that frontal lobe, and I actually got the experiences and went through certain things that my mama tried to keep me away from, I learned my lesson. Sometimes you got to fall on your head, but see, what parents don't understand is they take that as a hot moment. I told you, but it's like, you have to let your child experience things. You have to let them go out into the world. You have to let them find themselves. You have to let them explore, because you cannot hold their hand for the rest of their lives. Whatever you were super controlling over them about and breathing down their motherfucking neck for them to try to avoid, they're going to be exposed to it. So instead of trying to prevent the inevitable, sometimes, especially in this day and age, back then, we were growing up in a time where they were developing new technology. Now it's, it Everything that you're trying to have from them is at their fingertips. So you sit there and say no YouTube, no social media, no this, no that. They go to school and all of their peers have it. So they can go through this and go through that, and they're going to sneak and lie and do whatever they can do so that they can have access to stuff you're trying to keep away from. So the best thing that you can do is be proactive instead of preventative, and instead of reactive, I remember like a lot of the times getting in trouble, and sometimes I literally genuinely didn't know any better. And I don't think that a lot of parents understand, like, how the fuck is your child supposed to know something you never taught them? And I think that y'all kind of over, not saying that children are smart, and I'm saying children, not even just teenagers. Children are smart as hell. They know a lot, they observe a lot, they soak shit in like a sponge, and they're listening even when you don't think they're listening, and they're watching when you don't think they're watching. From my own experience as a child, I remember shit back from when I was 5 that my mom probably wouldn't even think that I would know about. Um, so I say that to say, like, because they're smart, but they're still learning. So, as an adult, from your own sense and logical place that you're coming from, as someone who's experienced certain things, um, you assume shit is common sense, but sometimes it's not. You know what I'm saying? How about ask, where they're coming from when they did this? Why did you do this? I'm not saying this so that I can cuss you out, or you're not going to get your ass whipped about everything. I want to know why you did this. What are you trying to figure out? What piqued your curiosity? Where did you get this from? How do you feel? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's important to really have a close bond and relationship with your children, not to be their little friend, but just, to try to, you know, if they're more comfortable to come and tell you things, you'll have more of an ability to know what they're going through and be able to assist them in life than you would trying to be so strict, and then they're hiding stuff from you. So now they're going through crazy shit where they do need somebody that they can trust, and like, you're putting them in more danger. With that being said about my sons, I say what I say because I'm very well aware that my sons are growing up in a different time, and they're still going to be men. And they're not just because they're men, but imperfect men. They're probably going to do a lot of the shit that I talk about other men for doing. That's probably inevitable, because especially when you immature and stuff like that, and they're very handsome. So with that being said, I'm not saying that they're not gonna do shit. And I say what I say because I actually teach them. You have parents that enable and coddle these men and don't teach them shit. And not saying that when you do teach them stuff, that, like I said, they're not going to still do what they want to do, because it's not always the mother's fault. You can't hold their hand, you can't force their hand or nothing like that. These are their own, these children are going to be grown men one day. What the fuck can I do? But I know one thing: I'm not going to enable it. I'm not going to let you think it's funny. I'm not going to tell you keep going on, and you can have multiple kids and then drop them off in my house and think I'm about to babysit all these goddamn, one kid Asian, one motherfucking kid Chinese, and motherfucking Indian, one Mexican. Hell no. Strap your dick up. Take care of these kids, and when the court take your damn ass down for every dollar you own, you're gonna be sitting here thinking like, damn, I could have been traveling the world right now in my 20s, but I want to sit up here and bust a nut. That's on you. So, I hold them accountable. But talking about like discipline, I think this is like a huge topic in the Black community, because I feel like a lot of us grew up on corporal discipline, right? And a lot of people say today the reason why kids are so bad is because they're not getting their ass whipped no more. No, I think that it's not any consistency. I think there's not enough structure, and I think that kids are not getting progressive discipline. Or like, there's no level to discipline. So um they're not being they're not developing properly. And what I mean by that is, when I was growing up, it was no ifs, ands, or buts. You were never right as a child. You can't have feelings and emotions toward nothing, because you ain't paying no bills. Every time I got in trouble, it was not about why would you do this, or what are you going through that's caused you to act out in this way, or you know it wasn't a situation where an adult sat back and think like, well, she never been in this experience before and I never taught her this. I'm just about to whoop your ass. I'm about to grab whatever is closest to me and fuck you up with it. I'm gonna call you all out your name, not understanding that as a child, you're not looking at this like, okay, my parent is just extremely frustrated right now, so they're saying things that they don't mean. You looking at this shit and you're internalizing it. Because imagine you go to school and you're being bullied and you getting called ugly, and then your mama calling you ugly because she pissed off, and now you have this fucking, this complex. So I just remember, me and other people of all races that I used to be around got their ass whooped. And yeah, it caused the fear. But the thing, what I noticed about me and other people is I feared my mother when I was in her presence. But when I was getting my ass beat, it wasn't a situation where someone talked to me and put me in a position so where I had time to regulate my emotions and think about what I did wrong and understand why I shouldn't do this again, because I don't want the long term of this punishment. The punishment, getting my ass whipped, this gonna be over in a couple of minutes. You know what I'm saying? I might be beaten battered, but this gonna be over with. So the biggest thing about this is me getting my ass beat and not me learning the lesson that I actually need to learn. Me not doing my homework and getting bad grades and not knowing what's going on. I'm getting beat the fuck up. But I mean, yeah, I still get to go, watch TV, or my mama overwhelmed and shit like that. So it's like, instead of getting grounded for a week or you taking away something that I love or something like that, it was either no consistency or it was completely too harsh. It was no balance in the punishment. It wasn't progressive. Everything was an ass whooping. You know what I'm saying? So I fear my mother. So I was going through stuff and I needed different type of help and stuff like that. And I couldn't even go to her and ask her. You know what I'm saying? My father, when he was alive and stuff like that, they were separated. So with that being said, it was more of a situation where it was like, I'm daddy's girl, he not about to whip me. My dad was like 6'4", 200 some pounds. I was 5'4", and I was a stick figure. My dad probably could have broke me in half like a goddamn celery stalk. All he had to do was give me a look or be ashamed of me, and it just broke my heart to pieces. So my brother, on the other hand, poor baby. Mm-mm. But with that being said, I just feel like it's not enough structure. What I noticed, especially with raising boys, I was telling my coworker, because at work, you have these crazy little irrelevant conversations, in corporate culture. I was telling her, I was like, as a mom of 3 boys, it made me have a different understanding of men, because I tell women about the game all the time, as far as shit, what I'm gonna say, men wanting a challenge. Men, you have to activate, you know, the chasing them wanting to win at all costs and shit like that. And eventually when within them chasing you, and they may have ill intent or they don't give a fuck about you or something like that, they might accidentally learn something about you or whatever the case. So in learning men, I started trying to see, and I'm not using my boys as guinea pigs. This is like a known psychological factor, okay? When it comes to getting them to understand something, I know what they like. They like their video games, they like their YouTube, they have their favorite content creators. One likes riding their bikes, stuff like that. So I came up with a reward system where, okay, if you do your chores on this day or whatever, y'all come to this chore chart, you get a star. And after you get this amount of stars, the reward is going to be this, right? Because I know that over time, it builds consistency so that eventually, instead of me having to always tell them this is what they need to do, they can look around and see, okay, well, this is the problem. This is the solution as far as cleaning up goes. Because why the fuck don't women teach men how to clean up? Y'all teaching them to depend on women and look at us like we're fucking in servitude to them. And that's bogus. You know what I'm saying? Y'all making these men so codependent when we're in a different day and age. And we need to, yeah, if you're not raising your son to be shit, you know what I'm saying, to where he knows he needs to work hard and make enough money to sustain himself and the family one day, why the fuck is you raising him in a way of where he's expecting women to clean up behind him and cook for him and he ain't got no goddamn money? You know, girl, you better get your ass on some fucking where with that bullshit. I mean, even for, don't nobody want to do shit for your son that he don't even do for himself. I can assure you that. Niggas be looking at me and I be looking at them like, how the fuck I'm trifling because you want me to clean up after you, so I'm nasty? You know what I'm saying, bitch? You starving. I know how to cook. Bitch, because now you giving me too much motherfucking power to play in your son's face when he pissed me the fuck off. Bitch, now you gonna starve. Take your ass over there to McDonald's, ho. Like that scene of Respucia. Going on down there and get to the rib shack and give me some. So that y'all, I wish y'all do have my motherfucking man work. But yeah, you know, I realized that making things a competition amongst them and giving them rewards, you know what I'm saying, instead of instant rewards, you know, like them games is hijacking their reward system and all that dopamine instantly, giving them something long and drawn out, you know what I'm saying, so that they can feel accomplished and while learning skills is how I realized I could get them to do things and actually have an interest in learning these things and getting it right because they want something, you know. So anyway, yeah, so I feel like when it comes, like I said, to the punishment, there needs to be structure, routine. Kids thrive from routine. You can't allow it this day because you tired and then you know want to get stern this day. It has to be some consistency. And being a child ass, yeah, I mean, it's easier to reprimand than it is to teach. You whoop their ass, you're frustrated, so you get an instant satisfaction from kicking their ass because you pissed off, and then it's quicker. You know what I'm saying? But you're not teaching them in the long run. Okay, why shouldn't you do this? You know, what made you do this in the first place? Is there, you know, and then y'all got to understand kids have mental illness too. Kids are going through things just because they don't pay bills or you feel like they don't have the same stressors that you do. They're human with emotions. You know, how could you be so selfish? There's children with ADHD. So some of y'all need to make sure you are maintaining insurance because that's a part of taking care of your children and actually paying attention to them enough to understand patterns. Educate yourself. Because some of y'all think that these kids are in control of their impulsive behaviors and stuff like that. And some of them really cannot help it because they may have ADD, ADHD, or something like that. And you beating the fuck out of them always because the school calling you, but you're not trying to get to the root of the issue. Some of y'all, the children don't have no stability, no structure, none of that shit like that, and they're acting out because they don't know how to explain certain things, and you don't know how to explain yourself. You don't know what your emotions are either. I'm 30. I'm just now consistently going to therapy, and I've learned so much about myself. I've learned about feelings. I've learned about how to identify them and what they mean and what they're trying to tell me, because your emotions are signaling something. You know what I'm saying? So I realized, okay, I've ran into so many emotionally unavailable, stoic, nonchalant men that are holding in so much, hiding so much, have all these traumas, and they don't know what to do with it. And it expresses when they drink too much, smoke too much, when they're abusive toward women, when they, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you know, I have gotten my boys in therapy and stuff like that. So what I say, when I talk my shit, don't get me wrong, I'm very intelligent. You know what I'm saying? Even when I be roasting y'all ass, and within that, it be some love. You know what I'm saying? Like, I even made my boys individual hygiene baskets. And it included baby wipes. Wipe your funky ass, nigga. Don't let nobody tell you that you a punk because you wash your ass. I don't want to be around this bitch seeing no dookie stains. I got motherfucking disinfectant wipes behind the toilet, nigga. Clean this shit up. I'm not cleaning up this damn toilet. This is y'all chore. They have their own bathroom. Go in there and wipe that shit up. I don't say it like that, not all the time. But you clean this up. I'm not wiping no piss off the toilet. Shit. Maybe at your grandma's house, she'll do it. The non-black one. Because my mama, she gonna wipe the floor with their ass. But yeah, so I'm like, shit. The fact that I'm sitting up here talking to this mic like it's on is motherfucking diabolical. But you know, we ain't gonna touch on that no more. Um, yeah, y'all. So I really have implemented a lot of strategy, and I try my best to be consistent because I know how it is when you a single mom and like I work. I'm a full time student. I do content. I have to keep up a whole house. Well, an apartment, but it's a 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom apartments with me and 3 kids and a damn dog, a little bitty dog, but still, shit, it's a lot. It's a lot. Um, but yeah, y'all, I think that it's super important. And talking about disciplining kids, me and my homie was talking about all them kids in Chicago for that teen takeover or some shit they was doing it on 57 Beach last week. Man, that shit's so crazy. I heard they was attacking the cops and stuff like that. See, that's why y'all kids be ending up dead. And then y'all want to go sit up there and protest and sit up there and rob the stores and stuff like that. Girl, raise your kids. Teach your kids better. And yes, I feel like both parents need to be held accountable. I understand how difficult it is when you don't have resources. For instance, I signed my middle child up for basketball. My middle child is my most bluntly honest child. He's super smart, but he's not for none. Okay, we working on his anger, and sometimes he be in his right, but I have to let him know, baby, you can't just crash out. You have to, so he's in therapy. Let me just put it like that. You can't kick ass all the time. um, but yeah, I'm like, let's channel this energy that you have, sir, into basketball. I signed them up for basketball. They canceled the damn shit because there wasn't enough kids signed up for the season. And then, mind you, I tried to go to another district, and that shit was $700-800. I'm like, damn. Is y'all finna travel? Is you finna meet LeBron James? Shit, get at me on the you know what I'm saying? Give me one of them front row seats to the game. Get a basketball player. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this too much. And like I said, the fact that I can't get no food stamps, bitch, y'all ain't gonna give a, you can't I can't get $100. Y'all can't help a bitch with milk, eggs, and shit like that no more. Like, what happened to this? Like, damn, what you want to help? You don't want to help me, and I'm trying. But so Trump changed a lot of that shit, y'all. So I feel like that's even worse. You know what I'm saying? Luckily, I know I have to budget more, but it's doable. You know what I'm saying? And for those who have been affected by that, please visit your local pantry, Catholic charities, um, all type of thing. Make sure you start actually getting those newspapers out your mailbox and looking at them. Yes, coupons, bitch. Watch the local the sale at your local grocery store, whether it be Jewels, bitch. Go to Aldi's. You know what I'm saying? You might have to hit up more than one store. Store. You gotta do what you gotta do. You know. So, yeah, back to what I was saying. What the fuck was I saying? See, I don't know if y'all like me, bitch. Once I get to going off on a tangent, when I get to going off on a tangent, it'd be crazy. It's the fact that I just keep going because let me tell y'all something. I am not an editor, okay? I hate editing videos, especially if they long. I'd rather keep the imperfections. It make it feel more authentic, bitch. Basically, we on FaceTime. I ain't got time for all of this. I ain't got time for all of this. All that editing, all this cutting it out, or I breathe too hard, or you can hit it now. I don't give a fuck. That's why. Tell them that it's human nature. We gonna touch on Michael Jackson a little bit, but after what I was talking about these badass kids, I feel bad for them. I feel like these kids don't have shit to do during the summer. They need sports, they need activities, they need something to channel all of this because there's something good you can find in whatever you deem is bad. Y'all out here twerking and shaking ass, y'all could really be majorettes one day, or you know what I'm saying? Y'all can get on dance teams, y'all could take over, y'all could be on a cheerleading team for the summer with the damn football players. Niggas beating each other to smithereens, you could be the next boxer. You know what I'm saying? Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, nigga. All these damn kids sitting around here, you know what I'm saying, taking all these pictures and shit like that. Y'all be beautiful. Y'all could be models and all type of shit. Like, y'all could do what I'm doing, sitting in front of this camera and making money just because you look good. And you ain't got to do the OF route either. You know what I'm saying? It's so many ways to get money. It's so many ways to use y'all talents. Y'all on top of cars shooting music videos and shit like that. Like, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. You could take off, but how much are you willing to put into it? Cause you fuck around and get shot out here. Y'all being idiots. You know, and I really feel like it started with the parents. It's like, imagine you watching the news and people looking at you and looking down on you as a people. That is humiliating, first of all, because they're not going to have the sympathy and understanding that I have. You know what I'm saying? Because I grew up around people, and it was a family full of it was poverty, and their parents didn't teach them shit. So they really had way too many opportunities to fail, but they it was like the most funny, entertaining, talented people I knew were people. It was multiple people in little ass households with nothing, bitch, but wallpaper. You feel me? Like the TV on the floor, like they borderline poverty. House full of food though. You know what I'm saying? That welfare came through for them motherfuckers. But uh and hustlers. And I mean they could talk the bitch, they could sell you your own shit. So it's like skills that them street skills can be transferred into business if you take the time to, you know what I'm saying? Because now you learn people, you understand that the world is not all peaches and cream, so it's gonna be hard to get over on you. You willing to invest your knowledge in a certain topic or learn how to sell a certain item. You know what I'm saying? You understand numbers, all this shit like that. Y'all, that is just transferable skills, sir. The fuck is you talking about? So I be looking at stuff and I be like, damn, the parents ain't teach them because they didn't know. And then the generation before them was in even more poverty and had even more like blockages because of like things like racism and all type of crazy shit, you know. So, you know, I just man, you know, it's so much going on in the world, y'all. But I just wanted to come through and just holler at y'all real quick. I'm still fucking building this plane while I'm flying it. Some more corporate language for y'all lame ass shit, boy. Anyway, help, baby, can you help me? Oh fuck! Wait. I told y'all we was finna talk about Michael Jackson fan ass. So real quick, I just got to comment on that. Ooh. I just so hot and bothered that you know, I know that he did a lot of modifications, you know, as he aged in his life. But baby, when I say that was one smooth, dapper, fine, multi-talented, intelligent man with one hell of an imagination. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, bitch. Let me say that Michael movie, I enjoyed it. I enjoy anything Michael, bitch. I don't give a fuck. They could have put a screen with a trash bag on it and played his music, and I would have still been in it. I love you, Michael. Oh, it's so hard. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, and that's crazy because, like I said, I'm 30. He would have been in his late 60s by now. I became a Michael fan when I was like a young, like a preteen. You know what I'm saying? And my kids watch Michael Jackson every fucking day since I took them to see that movie. Like he's still gaining fans. I just wanted to say that shout out to Michael, man. I don't like what they did to him. I ain't gonna get too much into that. But let me just say that not only you talented, you handsome, you beautiful, but the only problem, which should be a problem, is his heart was so pure. You know what I'm saying? He didn't get to develop. That goes with another thing. Them too strict parents or not really having the actual exposure, you know, and being out of touch with real world people, real world experiences, and having, you know, it creates a childlike mind. You could have Peter Pan syndrome. You could be too green. You could be gullible, and all of that stuff that parents are doing and they think that they're trying to protect the child can really be their detriment later on in life. But anyway, y'all, ciao. I actually have a therapy session, if you don't mind. I've got to go. So the verdict is in and Vixen is out.